Welcome to week 14 of marathon training. I am now less than 1 month away from the Belfast Marathon. This should have been my peak week of training, but because of a stupid cold, I have ended up feeling absolutely rotten all week. All that has been going through my head this week is, am I about to ruin a number of weeks training or even months training? Is this going to impact the fitness that I have built up over the last number of weeks? Is it going to ruin my chances of getting a sub 3:30 marathon? Is this cold even ever going to go away? Because it feels like it's not. In this week's episode, I go through my week's training for what should have been a really good week, but because of the cold it held me back slightly. Ended up not too bad, but I will go through each of training sessions of this week's training and try and analyse if I have done enough to carry me through into next week so that I can build my fitness once again and get myself strong again. Normally catching a cold, it's no big thing, but in week 14 and any week of marathon training, it just knocks you back. And this week, I have felt absolutely rotten. I am just absolutely full of the cold this week, especially for the first few days, and I just didn't know if I was going to have to take a week of training off. I read an article last week about somebody who took loads of data from Strava and basically analysed people's race results, and people who had missed training days, had missed a week of training or 2 weeks of training. The article talked about how that affected somebody's marathon run, and I suppose I just got that into my head and wondered, am I actually going to make it to the start line? I feel really weak. I felt such a push on in my fitness in recent weeks, and I just didn't want this to be the end of that. The plan for this week, set by my coach, was 6 mile easy running on Monday, Tuesday free, Wednesday was a 9 mile tempo run at 7:25 pace. Thursday is 6 mile easy, Friday free. Saturday this week is my long run. That's 4 times 5 miles at 7:50 pace with a half mile float in between and 4 minutes 30 or 9 minute mile pace. And Sunday is another easy run, 6 mile easy on Sunday. I didn't take my camera out with me on Monday's run or on Wednesday's run. The reality is I was just full of the cold and I just wasn't in form. I really wanted to get one foot in front of the other, get a few miles in. I just felt terrible. I actually didn't do the run on Monday. I was just in really bad form. The cold was just at its peak and I had to take the day off. But I did go out on the Tuesday and ran 6 miles at 8:40 pace. I felt terrible, but surprisingly my heart rate was a lot lower than I thought it would have been. I did feel quite heavy, but I got the job done. I just ran the 4 miles on the Wednesday. The first couple of miles I ran pretty close to the tempo pace and then I just slowed down. I was feeling rotten. That was the end of that one. On the Thursday, I got out twice. I ran 6 mile in the morning and then I just had this thing in my head that if I just keep running, it'll sweat out of me. So I done 6 mile easy in the morning. In the evening time, I was waiting on my son coming out of piano practice and I just ended up doing 3 easy miles during that half hour that he was in there. And you know, I felt a wee bit better. So things were on the rise. I was starting to feel a wee bit better around this time, but it still wasn't good, to be honest. I still didn't feel like I could run fast. So I took the Friday off just as a rest day, and I think that was the right decision because I did feel a wee bit better after that. Saturday morning, I took a wee video before I started the run. Saturday morning, long run day, had a cold all week. Didn't think this day would happen because of the cold, but it has. I'm gonna go for it and I don't feel too bad. I still feel the cold in my head a bit, but it should be okay. 4 times 5 miles at 7:50 pace with a half mile recovery. I've got half mile recovery, I think it's 9 minute mile pace. Yeah, so 22 miles in total. That's it, done. 21, just over 21 miles, 7:50 pace for the each 5 mile, and I actually felt really good. I think I got about, my average heart rate was about 150, which is really good for that pace for me, considering a few months ago my heart rate was screaming at that pace. Like it had been in 170s, so only a few months ago. So definitely coming on, really enjoyed that. So all good. 10 o'clock in the morning now, get in, get showered, get out with the family, have a good day. So I was starting to feel a bit better here and I ended up going out and doing the run pretty good. I felt good. At 7:50 pace now is feeling, I wouldn't say it's feeling easy, but it's a lot easier than it was. Like a few months ago I tried to run Dublin Marathon at this pace and like 7 miles in I was really starting to hurt. I knew that this wasn't happening. 7:50 pace was just too much. My heart rate was up around 175, but on this run on Saturday I actually ran this pretty effortlessly. I went out wearing the new Vaporflies and to be honest I kept forgetting that I was wearing them. They were a very good shoe. If you want to see the video on that, you can check out the video I posted yesterday, I think it was, so you can find that on my channel on the Nike Vaporfly 3s. So it was a good run. I got the job done. Only problem was I ran out of gels. Because I was sick during the week, I just forgot to order them, and by the time I did, I realised, hang on, the post is going to be off for Easter, so I didn't get them in time. So I had no gels for that long run, which isn't ideal. I ended up chopping a banana in two and taking that out with me. But see, because of the cold, I still wasn't feeling great, and I tried to get as much water fluids in me as possible. I actually left a bottle en route a couple of different places, which really helped. I didn't get enough food or water for the run, that was the only thing, and I did start feeling it a wee bit at the end. I think I was a bit dehydrated, and a couple of gels would have been down a treat, but it just couldn't happen. I ended up running slightly faster than I was supposed to, and I'm only talking a few seconds a mile, but the good thing about this is whenever I had a session sent to me by my coach, for the last number of months, I've always been just not meeting the times, even if it's just, I'm always in the slower end of the times that he sent me, whereas now I'm starting to feel that bit fitter, and I was supposed to be running 7:50 pace, and most of my miles were coming in at like 7:45, 7:47, that sort of thing. Whereas before, I would always have felt like I was pushing too hard. The miles come in that wee bit slower, maybe 5 or 10 seconds slower at times. The only problem on Sunday was my stomach. I actually had to stop and look for a toilet, which isn't ideal, and I know on race day, if this happens, it's just disaster. But I ended up taking a good 10 minutes out halfway through the run, because I was running early morning. I had ate a banana. I had actually had a takeaway the night before, which obviously is not ideal, but the Indian just didn't agree with my stomach, and I ended up having to find a toilet. There was nowhere open that time of the morning, but then I realised, hang on, the golf club's open. I ran in and was able to use the bathroom. That took about 10 minutes out of the run, so I had a wee break in the middle. But we finished strong. It was all good, and we got that done. Any runner, I would imagine, has been through that at some point in their life, and that's happened to me a couple of times. It's just a good job that I was able to find somewhere that was open at that time of the morning, so happy days for the golf club. All my miles are looking really strong. Miles 1, 2, 3 and 4, 7:56, 7:41, 7:46, 7:48, 7:53, and then I had half a mile of float, so it was 8:17 for that one, and then 7:53, 48, 46. And that just keeps going. Then the last couple of sets I was even down into the 7:30s for a couple of miles. So I finished really strong, ended up with 21 and a half miles done. Good run, really glad to get that one in the bag. That is, I think, the longest run. Any runs I have from now on are a bit shorter, like next Sunday I have 18 miles, I think, at slightly faster pace, and then Sunday after that, which will be 7 days before the marathon, I think I have about 12 miles at 7:30 pace, so it's getting shorter from now on, but it will get faster. So all in all, that was a better week than I thought it was going to be. I missed part of the tempo run on Wednesday, but what can you do? So I actually didn't get to the gym at all this week, so I haven't been there in over a week now. I'm looking forward to getting there hopefully next week or the week after. It's just the routine is completely up the left with the kids being off school, and obviously having the cold didn't help in the slightest. Very happy to get that long run done. The long runs have been getting longer. I've done probably 6, I must count, but I think I've done 6 or 8 long runs above 18 miles, probably about 6 and around the 20 mile mark over the last couple of months, and they've been getting faster and faster. I'm not 100% sure what my goal race pace will be. At the end of the day, I would just love to get below that 3:30 marathon, but I do feel that I'm getting a bit fitter. I've lost a wee bit of weight in the last couple of months too. Like I lost 6 kilograms in the last 2 months, and I really feel that has helped me on. I'm now 75 kilograms. In January, early February, I was 81 and a half kilograms, so I really felt losing that weight has helped me a wee bit as well. Obviously the hard training really helps, but those long runs have been really crucial. In previous marathon blocks, I didn't pay as much respect to the long run, and I really feel that is so necessary. My tempo runs have went from 4 miles at the beginning of the block, and they're now up to near 10 miles. So this week should have been 9 miles, which was up from the week before. It was 8.5 mile tempo. But the tempo run, I'm not 100% sure how my coach works it. I think like the tempo run and the long run seem to sort of coincide with each other. There's, 30 seconds per mile, maybe 40 seconds per mile difference in them at one stage, and it comes a wee bit closer and closer. And I suppose you're just working that curve of fitness forward. but I really see that starting to come together now. My tempo run is now at 7:25 pace, my long run 7:50 pace. I would imagine my marathon pace will be somewhere in between that. I think he's trying to get the marathon pace to be closer to the tempo pace, because the last tempo run will be probably about 12 or 13 miles on a really heavy week. I don't want to go out and blow up. I don't want to go out and go too hard. I know that can happen very easily. That happened to me last time at Dublin Marathon. I don't want that to happen this time. So I'll talk a wee bit more about my marathon pace come closer to the marathon, but I would imagine it'll be in around 7:40 pace. I think I would be comfortable with that. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be hard in the later stages of the marathon. It really is, but I think that's achievable. My coach might think that a wee bit faster is achievable. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll come to that soon. I have a few more runs to do, a few more key runs that might push the fitness on a wee bit in the last couple of weeks, and I'll make my decision closer to the time. Thank you very much for watching another video. Glad to get another week done. Happy to be here. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much and see you soon.